Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I am Denise Armenio, certified emotion code, body code, group energy facilitator, and genius biofeedback facilitator. And I am so happy to be here in today's Thursday Live, where we discuss all things Genius app. We will be showing you the ins and outs on how to use the app, what some things mean, and also doing today a group demo session. I also have with me Claire McIntyre. Thank you, who is here helping, and she's also helping with the chats. If you have questions and I can't get to them live, she's here to help assist as well. So today I thought that we could work with the Genius, working with Entangled Insights. We've worked with it before, but just to reinforce and work with it some more so that everybody gets used to it. So with that said, I am just going to start to share my screen. Okay, so here's my screen. Also, if everybody can use their chat, please, and just put in what are some things you'd like to be working on. It helps so that at the end of the session, we know if there's been any improvement. And also, it's kind of like setting your intention for the healing for today. So it has a twofold purpose for having you add that. So if you can all just use the chat and put with that what you want to work on, and also to rate whatever you want to work on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being severe. And then at the end of the session, we can come back and look at that. So I'm just going to start by adding in the name here, and I will put Thursday. Whoops. Live group, and the date, we will use today's date, which is October 5th. And we'll leave it at female. And now we can hit continue with new analysis. I'm just going to bypass this section right here, but this is where you would normally write what you're going to work on your client or yourself in that session. You can also click any of these boxes if you like. It just makes it a little bit easier to read. But I'm going to just hit begin here. And if everybody is ready, I'm just going, if everybody could just unmute themselves and we can leave our voice imprint. So I will count that down in just a minute when I see everybody unmute themselves. Barbara, Jennifer, thank you. You've unmuted. Kim, it looks like you're having a little bit of issues. Oh, I see you're signed in twice, Kim. I could exit you out of the other one if you'd like. But if you want to just unmute Tammy, Kim, that would be great. Okay, so Tammy, food allergies and skin 9. Okay, so let's hopefully we can look at that for you. And Kim, if you want to unmute, I just sent you a request to unmute. This way we can get going. Okay, everybody's unmuted. Excellent. Okay, so I'm just going to count us down. I'll say 3, 2, 1, begin. And then everybody please say your name and then repeat the vowels A, E, I, O, U multiple times until this 15-second counter at the top gets to 0. Please watch the counter so that you do know when the recording will stop. So 3, 2, 1, begin.
David
A
A
E
I
I
U
O
A
U
E
A
I
E
U
O U
E
A
I
E
U
I O
E I
U.
O U.
Great job. Okay, so Claire, I'm just gonna unmute you, or I've requested to unmute you, Claire. Everybody else, you are muted. So now the next thing I just want to do and recommend is that after you leave a recording, you do listen to the voice harmonics. It works like a homeopathic would, like cancels out like. So here we go with that. Okay, and from here we can just select the next button. Hit continue. And so now I'm just going to grab the grid of everybody that's here. And let me just grab a picture of everybody. Oops. Hold on, guys. Where is my... Okay. So now that I've added our group picture into photos, I can now just click on the avatar and select existing photo. And hopefully it will... Oh, it didn't populate. Rats. I guess we have to do that again. Hold on a second. Just do a little smaller. Okay, let's hopefully it will work this time. And it's still not populating. I don't know why. So let's skip the photo for today. And our energetic affirmation, we can put in all energies are transmuted into the frequency of pure love. And so it is. Okay, now when you add the frequency here, the Genius, much like our voice imprint, when the Genius translates our spoken word into a frequency, it also takes our written word and translates that into a frequency as well. So when you put in your affirmation here, every time you run frequencies within this session, it will run the frequency for this affirmation as well. I will now select the begin analysis. If you just have the trial or you have the basic version and you have not created or purchased libraries, you will not see this banner here. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. And I'm just going to add in here my intention is a little bit of a cold. And I'll put that as a 4. Okay, so now just to explain a little bit of what the numbers on the side means, the Genius uses a numerical value system. The numbers range from 0 to 777. The first range goes from 0 to 200, and that is represented by the color blue. Blue is observed to be chronic energetic disturbances. So these disturbances you've had for a longer period of time can also be referred to as stagnant energy, or you might also hear us refer to it as under energy, meaning it's not getting enough energy. The next range goes from 201 to 450, and that is represented by the color green. From there, we go to the range 451 to 599, and that is represented by the color yellow. And lastly, we go 600 to 777 is represented by the color red. That is observed to be acute energetic disturbances, meaning they are happening now in the present. It is a stress on you and your energy body in the present time. It can also be referred to as heat or inflammation, or sometimes we also refer to it as over energy, where it's getting too much energy. Excuse me. The next thing I just want to point out are these little arrows on the left-hand side. Those are just there to just give you some information that you can go a level deeper. You have two views. You can either click on the line. So for example, we can click on the line for the brain EEG, and you will see the different brain waves that you can have. And the view allows us to see it organized by color. If you were to click the double arrows, it gives you the same exact information, but it is not color coded. It is a little bit easier if you want to see what those items are by clicking on the little magnifying glass. It gives you a very brief idea of information of what that means. So for example, the high beta is awake, normal, alert, and consciousness on the higher level. And then you just click on the arrow again to close that. The Genius does, after you do begin analysis, it will sort in the order of priority. So here for the group, we're seeing that the mind, we should work on that first, biofield, and then body. And the custom libraries will always be at the bottom. The next thing I always like to check before I go any further is to get your before session aura picture. So to do that, you can click on the line for the aura and then just hit begin analysis. I have to say, this is one really nice aura. I'm not sure I want to change it too much. This is a very integrated aura. And what I mean by that is, I've said before, we kind of like to look for one aura color, which is not very easy to do. It would mean that you're very well integrated. And not that we don't all do the work, but it's not always easy to see that. But you do see, this same varying shades of this like purplish color, and then the green as well in several layers. So that's a really great aura. The only thing that I would say looking at this is you can see as you go out, it gets a little blurry or kind of dirty looking. That's a sign of interference or sometimes negative energy that's in there, or stagnant energy. So hopefully we could bring more clarity into that. We can also look at the old version. And even in the old version, what we like to look for is all four corners filled with color, which it is, meaning that as a group, we're all pretty grounded. So that's pretty great. I do see up at the top, there is that grayish looking. So there is some interference or negative type energy in here. Hopefully we can work on clearing that out. And again, we see a lot of good energy sort of coming in. So really happy with this aura. We'll probably stir things up a bit. It may not look exactly like that when we're done, but good work, everybody. You're all doing your work, so that's good to see. The next thing I always like to do is work on priming the body. You'll hear myself or Dr. Drake talk about that often, where we just want to make sure, like if we were to build a house, you need to have the foundation built first before you could put things on top. The same goes when we're working with the frequencies. So we want to prime the body with all the energies of the biofield, and then we can add in the minerals, vitamins, and amino acids. All of these things will help prepare us and get us ready for taking in more frequencies. So we can start by doing that. I have set up last week or the week before, we worked on setting up custom playlists. You can see I have that here. I have to remember which one, but I can try working with it. I think it was this protocol. Oh, maybe because, hold on a second. I have to hit begin analysis here.
That's a really good point, actually, Denise, that if people are not seeing their custom playlist appear in either of the trays, it's because they need the libraries scanned first.
Right. So that is what happened here. Because I am in custom libraries, I'm just going to go to the bioterrain library here, and I'm going to select the bioterrain. I'm just going to drag it down. If it's not wanting to go. So let's just click it. And sometimes it gets a little temperamental there. And I'm just going to add all the items into the main hold tray. And I'm just going to add this biomat crystal for grounding mat. Even though it's showing up here as red. So I'm just gonna a mini mat. I'm gonna take this one out and leave the one that's red. And now I can go to our progressive insights and hit begin analysis. And I always like to start with selecting 1 minute and working with all the frequencies. So I just did that, and now I can hit play. Genius telling us we did excellent and we have responded well. We had an average percent rectification of 41%, which is very good. And the other thing I like to look at is the 3 areas above that says harmony, alignment, and energy flow. And I like to see the range between those 3 percentages for those items. I don't like it to exceed 20%, just because if it goes above 20%. If you think of everything like balancing it out, the further out that you get, like a larger range, it could easily could tip the scale and throw everything out of balance again. So the tighter it is, the better there. But we are within the 20% range there, so I'm happy. The next thing I would just do is click on the all to deselect everything, and I would select the low and the high and move the timer to 0 and just run those for 30 seconds. Okay, so great. Again, an average percent rectification of 63, and the harmony, alignment, and flow is very close together, within like 9 points of each other. So that's great. So I'm going to back out of here now. We can clear the main hold tray, and we can just go back to the system overview page, and then the second step or second protocol I always like to do is go into the general overview. And as many of you already know from being here on the Thursday lives, the reason why I feel that the general overview is so important is because it allows you to look at items that we might not automatically think to look at for our given things that we're working on. So today, the things that we're holding in tension and hopefully will be helping to clear are food allergies and skin, hyperthyroid problems, back pain, swelling of the ankles, and me, I have a little bit of a respiratory issue. So hopefully we can work a little bit on all of that. So let's just click on system overview. And as you can see, the reds, they're starting with the spinal energy is showing as the top thing for everybody being off. And I'm just going to just click here because I'm curious. So the body connection for C4, which is presently out, is nose, lips, mouth, eustachian tube, sore throat, laryngitis, hay fever, allergies, postnasal drip. Well, that definitely speaks to me. And the emotions are blocked, held in, need release, wants to speak their true voice. I would also say that that's also accurate for myself as well. And the second one that's coming up, and remember, these are what's going on in the present. So it's not necessarily a long-term issue, but something that's just showing up right now. And then lumbar 1 has to do with the large intestine, bowel issues, constipation, hiatal hernia, and the emotional would be insecurity. So if we look now at, if we hit the 0 to 100, we'll see the issues that are more chronic, and we see the hormone thyroxine, also some issues with interferon production and some ancient galactic star codes. So those are all very exciting. So I'm just going to click the plus button, and we can add the top 50 and the bottom 50. And then if we remove the library, we're just left with all the items from the system overview page. And here again, I'm going to add the top 50 and the bottom 50. That gives us almost 200 items. There are some items that from the system overview that appeared in all the items in the top, and that is why we don't have the full 200. So now I'm just going to select play. And again, I'll put the timer on 1 minute and select all and play. we responded well with the 41%, and the energy flow alignment is all within that acceptable range. And again, I'm just going to deselect all, and I'll select high and low. Move the timer to 0 so we can play for just 30 seconds. We have a 28% rectification, and the 3 above are pretty tight. Because this is a demo and 28% is still pretty good, I'm gonna back out of here, and I'll clear the contents of the main hold tray. And now we need to decide what we want to work on for entangled insights. I was kind of feeling last week we did kind of a meridian balance. And I thought maybe today that we could just look. No, I guess we can't just do the word meridians. Okay, never mind with that. Let's just, what do we want to work on? Let's pick a body system. Lymphatic. Why don't we look at the lymphatic system for everyone today? So now that we selected lymphatic, we're in the entangled insights, and now it asks us to load all insights to tap here. So we can select that, and then we're asked, we could either select all of the items of this test matrix, or we can be more specific and break it down. Since I don't really know which way we should go, let's just work with all of the items, and we can select check. Okay, and from here, we can see that there's 100% next to many of these items, and these may all be contributing to the lymphatics being out of balance. So, I'm not going to select all the reds, so we're just going to have to drag and drop here. So sometimes it's a little bit tedious. Nose infection, congestion, that would certainly, I would say that for me is a factor. And we can go down now to the bottom. And I like to get those that are like 1% as well. Yep, Claire is saying that will go with the edema, the lymphatics. So general virus. Oh, there's quite a few 1%. Pharyngitis. Okay, so we have 115 items there. So now we can click to go to the progressive insights. And again, work with sort of the same protocol. I'll turn the timer on to 1 minute. We can hit. And let's select all. And we can run all of these for 1 minute. Okay, so we have a 31% rectification, harmony, alignment, and energy flow are within 20%, but I'd like to see that a little bit higher. The one thing I do want to do though is sometimes I forget, but when we went into Entangled Insights, and these are all like part of the database, for all those, for all the different, the Genius calls it as part of the test matrix, but they're all just different items. But I clicked on lymphatic and I never dragged lymphatic down into the main hold tray. So I did want to do that. The other thing I want to do is we just worked with the Entangled Insights, but I thought now, well, we have to hit begin analysis. We can continue working with the lymphatics. If I can just find it in this group here, I just need to find the word. So if anybody sees the word, where did it go? Stop me if you see it. Oh, there it is. And if we click on this box here, we can also go a little further and look at the functional zones. So we can click, now that we've selected the lymphatics, we can click on functional zones. So we're targeting the lymphatics from two places, right? We're looking at what might be causing our lymphatics to be out of balance as a group today. So we looked at the entirety of the database and took everything that was 100% and 1%. And now we're going to look at, for lymphatic, the functional zones that may also be contributing to it. So we have these three zones up top that are already in red. So I'm going to drag each of these zones down. And then I'm going to select on it. To that being off, and we see virus stress evaluation at 99% and Lyme stress evaluation at 98%. So I can drag those into the main hold tray as well. Then we can look at tissue regulation zone, and if we click on that again, and again, we have organic vegetative stress evaluation at 99% and cystic process stress evaluation at 98%. So I've just dragged both of those into the main hold tray. We can look at the biochemical zone. And again, we see 98 and 99% for vitamin stress evaluation and trace element stress evaluation. So those are the three areas that most seems to be stressed at this moment. We can continue to look down at some of the other zones, even though the zone itself isn't showing as red or blue. Sometimes we might find that excuse me. So, wow, 99 and 98 seem to be the lucky numbers today. We can go back out now. We can look at the geophysical zone. 98 and 94. So I'm glad to see a little bit of a change here, but we can add both of these in. Psychogenic zone now. And depressive tendency stress evaluation is 100%. So good that we looked in there. And here we have miasm stress evaluation. And then lastly, the interference zone. And again, 100% acquired interference stress evaluation at 100% and significant focus stress evaluation at 99%. So now from here, we can begin analysis. We can go back and it's still on 1 minute, select all, whoops, and hit play. Okay, so here we have an average percent rectification, 16%, and the harmony is 7%, and energy flow is 25%. So there's a range there. So I would run this again. I'm going to run all of these for another minute and see if we can get a little higher rectification there. Okay, so it's still kind of low. So what I would do here when you're not seeing the average percent rectification kind of moving too much, when you're not seeing too much movement, I always make sure I just drank some water, but that my client may drink some water as well. And then I would deselect and I would start with a smaller amount. So, and smaller amount, I mean, don't check off as many. Sometimes you may want to stimulate less of the items in the progressive insights, and sometimes that helps move it. So I'm just going to start with the low with these items here, and we can just work with it for about 30 seconds and see if that helps. Here we do see that it helped move the needle here a little bit. We're at a 49% rectification, and we see the harmony, alignment, and energy flow has um it's pretty close. So I would deselect the low here. We can run the high now again and do that again for 30 seconds. We had a 38% rectification, and the harmony, alignment, and energy flow is a little bit out of that range. Again, we are doing a demo, so I'm not going to stay here too long. I just wanted to answer the question David had asked, how do you get into the functional zone again? So the way you get into the functional zone is by selecting the item from the progressive insights, by selecting it and then hit functional zone. You could select more than one. I really only seem to select one item, but it's not to say that you can't select more than one item. And then you click on functional zone considerations and it brings you into that functional zone section. The other question I just wanted to address, someone had asked, how do you explain the items that come up in the entangled insights against the item that is being checked? So when you're in entangled insights, the items that are coming up are like what is contributing to the item being out of balance. So in other words, we clicked on lymphatics and it brought us to entangled insights. And then when we looked at the database, it was looking at all the possible things that could be out of balance that could, be contributing or helping with the lymphatics being off, depending on what the item is. If it's an herb, it might be something that would benefit the lymphatics, or it might be something that's out of balance that's causing the lymphatics to be out of balance. So does that answer your question? I'm not sure who answered the question specifically, but I hope that helps. And David, are you clear on the functional zones?
No, not yet.
You're not clear?
No, I still can't see it.
So what are you not clear about?
Just how you actually get into it, how you get onto that progressive insights look.
You know how to get to progressive insights, correct?
Yeah, but I can't. It doesn't seem to want to do it on mine. I don't know why. I can't just follow it.
So but you get to progressive insights through the main hold tray. You're following there, right?
Right.
Okay, so now when you're in progressive insights, you see these boxes on the left-hand side.
Oh yes, I'm seeing it now. Yeah.
Select the one that you wanted to work with. We were working with the lymphatics, which
Right. I need another cup of tea.
okay, and then once you select it, then you can click the functional zone considerations, and that will take you into that other page.
Yeah, got it now. Thank you.
You're welcome. So everyone, if you can just do a quick check-in to see how you're feeling. Swollen ankles, any better on the ankles? Jennifer, your back pain. David, I don't know what your symptoms are for your hyperthyroid, but would you still rate it as a 6? Tammy, your food allergies, I don't know if you can tell, but maybe I don't know if your skin issues would have cleared already. But if you just want to do a little check-in with that, and I'm just going to go back and let's just look and see, oops, what the aura looks like. I don't know if it's going to continue to look as beautiful as it is. I almost want to take a picture of this. Okay, and we can hit begin analysis. So we're seeing, I do like to see in the center here that we have that bright green color. So that's good. The color outside of that and going out a little bit isn't so great. I'd like to see those brighten up and not have like this hazy kind of look over it. We can look at the old classic. And again, the corners seem to be pretty much filled, which is great. The colors aren't bright or vibrant in here, but we can, hopefully look at that. We can just clear these items out right now, and maybe I'm going to add the neurotransmitters into the main hold tray. I'm going to go to the custom library, see if we can help out a little here with some of the pains we had in our intentions. And let's see, we had swelling, back pain. Let's put in the organs. We'll put the skin. And you know what? Why don't we just quickly, we're running out of time for the skin. We can just tap. Let's just, again, just gonna try to get as much as ooh, there's a lot here. Okay, I'm just gonna work with those 100% right now. And let's just and we can select 1 minute all and play. Okay, well, the average percent rectification again on that is low. Let's just select the lows and the highs for 30 seconds. that's up at 64% rectification, and the harmony and alignment and energy flow is all within range there. So that's great. How's everybody doing? Jennifer, is your back any better? You had said a bit better before. Maybe the pain frequencies have hopefully helped you a little bit, and gotten that back pain lower than a 5. And Tammy, I hope that your skin issues can maybe clear up a little bit. Hopefully we tackled them a little bit in there. We can just go back quickly and look at our aura and see how that has changed. Oh, good. Jennifer says, seems more relaxed. Great. And Claire, yeah, you may need to move and elevate a bit, probably. And so let's just see our aura. Okay, so again, you know, it doesn't look as pretty as the first one did, but we're definitely seeing some shifts in here. We can switch to old. Here it does seem that we might be a little bit not as grounded as we were before, but we are working with a lot of frequencies. So I just ask that everybody, you know, maybe run some grounding. You can walk outside barefoot or take a walk in nature, or if you're near the beach or the woods, you can walk in there to help with grounding a little bit. I hope everybody has found this helpful today. We explored 2 different ways to look at the lymphatics using the entangled insights and using the functional zone. So it's just a different way to work with the genius. There's just so many ways to use it. Hopefully you found this helpful. I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Thank you, Claire, as always, for helping out in the chats. And I hope everybody sees a little bit of an improvement. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at Denise at Inside Health Apps. I'm happy to answer your questions. And until next week, everybody, have a wonderful week, and look forward to seeing you next Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern,
7 p.m.
7 p.m. UK time, and any other time zone that's out there. So anyway, have a great week, everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, and wish you well.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, stop.